Speaking with Lori Albert. My name is Lori Albert, and I am a medium and intuitive. Spiritually Speaking is a feel-good, interactive, intuitive conversation that embraces all things spiritual. Each week, we discuss different spiritual topics and that sort of stuff. I have occasional guests, and I give readings. You can call in on the spirit line, or you can type in a question on the chat, and we will see how it goes, right? So how's everybody doing? I hope everybody's doing good. Oh my gosh. Hi, Eric. Hi, Christina and Gina. Thanks for putting in there. I appreciate, or typing in, or whatever you want to call it. Oh my gosh. Okay, so much to talk about. Okay, but first, as we always do, before we get into readings and all this other stuff, I'm going to tell you what we're going to do. But first, I want to sage. We need to sage this week. Oh, I have so much to tell you guys. Okay, so we are lighting our sage. Okay, and we say our little prayer. I break up and release all stagnant and negative energy from this place. May peace, light, and divine love protect us and be ever present. So we take this and we thank you so much. Oh my gosh, love that. So, yeah. Oh boy. Some of you were on my Facebook page last night, and I was just like, is anybody else having a bad day? Oh my God. It was kind of ridiculous, right? Well, not ridiculous, but you know, just whatever it was, right? I was having a not so great day. And then my daughter calls and she's having a bad day. So I'm just like, oh, something has to be going on, like planet-wise, because my daughter is an empath as well, and she and I have our same things going on, right? So we share that, which is great. She's an empath as well. Did I say that? She's an empath. She's all of that stuff, right? So at any rate, I typed in, oh my God, are you guys doing okay? And like, so some people were saying that they were having a difficult day. Some people were saying that they weren't. But what was interesting was that, what was really interesting about that was that, God, what was I just going to say? What was that I noticed that, people that are empaths, people that are really, really, connected in with spirituality, that sort of thing, were the ones having more of a difficult time yesterday. Okay. And I noticed that just from some of you that I know, blah, blah, blah. Right. So let me explain to you what I found out happened. Okay. Oh, we have Gina. How are you, Lori? And how's the loved ones on the other side? Everyone is doing so good. You know what? Tonight is going to be such a fun night, right? Okay, so what we're going to do is I have to share with you what I finally learned about the energy on the planet, what has been going on. Okay, I'm going to do that. And then I'm going to start doing some readings and stuff. And then I have a really good friend of mine who is going to call in, Eric. He's going to call in and he's going to teach us about animal totems and what they are, why we need them, what they can do for us. So I'm super excited, but that's going to be a little bit later, but I'm so excited. Okay, so here's the deal with the energy on the planet. I have 3 pages of printed out stuff, but what I'm just going to share with you, I'm going to read this to you. Okay, so there's this lady that I've been following for years. Her name is Elizabeth Peru. She is from Kate. Hi, Kate. Thanks for joining. So she is from Australia, and she does this thing called the tip-off report. She's fantastic. I've followed her for years on Facebook, and I wanted to read her, the beginning part at least, of her blog, right? This was incredible because I knew something had to have been going on yesterday because I was not in a good space. My daughter was not in a good space. Things were just not happening, right? They weren't working out really well. Okay, so Eric types in a shark. Okay, okay, so this is what Elizabeth Peru has to say. By now, you've probably heard that on September 6th, which I haven't heard any of this, by the way, but you've probably heard that on September 6th, 2018, the U.S. National Solar Observatory, located in Sunspot, New Mexico, was shut down by the FBI for security reasons for nearly 11 days, right? Pretty interesting, right? It's now reopened amidst a flurry of worldwide speculation about why this event occurred and why it is potentially covering up. And what is potentially covering up. To add further speculation around this closure is the reported several other solar observatories worldwide also having their cameras taken offline at around the same time. Worldwide. Okay, this isn't just like a one thing, okay? I reported last week on my Facebook page, this is Elizabeth Peru, on September 15th, that the sun had been extremely active, spewing out solar wind streams that us sensitive souls on Earth feel way before they could ever reach the planet. Hence, over the past week, hundreds of thousands of us have been headachy, restless, uneasy, and feeling that our entire lives are about to shift. Seriously, this is big, right? There are some, and then I've come to find out that there was some serious solar things going on, okay? I have a friend of mine that studies the weather in the universe. I have friends that do the craziest, coolest stuff, right? I really do. And so I asked him, I was trying to get some information from him, and he hasn't returned anything to me yet. So I'll have to find out from him. I'll let you guys know on my Facebook page. Okay, so let me just read the rest of this this part, okay? Of course, as you may know from following my tip-off report, that September 6th is also the day that the 3 weeks of planetary Grand X patterns started forming in our skies. This is an intense energy period up until September 30th, whereby we are each undergoing an internal personal transformation as the planets line up, forming a great square with the Earth as the center. It's like we are sitting in the middle of a giant cosmic pyramid for 3 weeks, and all of life is amplified. Now, okay, so she goes on, and I will put this on my Facebook page because it's really fascinating. But I don't know if you guys have been aware of any sort of stuff going on, if you felt it. Kate, I'm sure that you have felt it because I know you're really connected in. So if you want to, Kate, tell me if you've heard anything. Sarah, hi Sarah, how are you? Thanks for joining. Okay, so yeah, so I have friends that are really, really connected, that are mediums, that are like connected to the Earth's energy, I should say, and feel all of that. Then I have friends that are my mediums that are just they don't feel anything. So it's really fascinating, actually. It's really quite fascinating. I want to say this about this energy that's been happening for the next, until the 30th. So we have, what is it, the 18th. So we have another, 12 days, okay? Personal transformation. Let us sit back and relax and maybe see where we are in the universe, right? Let's just see where we are, and let's sorry, I'm trying to share the video. I'm trying to share what's going on here because I don't want anybody to miss this because it's really, really amazing. I have I've been feeling a lot myself of stuff happening energy-wise. Have you guys been feeling that? I want to know what you guys are feeling. I want to, tell me what you guys are feeling. I would love to know. Kate she said she's been very emotional. Yeah, it's been a very emotional time for folks. And that's the whole thing. Emotional, right? So we need to just be aware of what's going on. And I tell this, people say to me all the time, oh, but really, it's just, you know what? I don't understand why that affects us. Well, the energy on the planet is, gravity, that sort of stuff. I mean, it's keeping the planets going around the sun. That's all energy, right? And don't forget that energy affects your body. What is your body? It's like 80% water. So hello, think that through, So things are going to be happening. And if we just have a little bit of patience, I think it should be okay. So there you go. Okay, So I am going to, if whatever you guys are interested in, I would love to share. I would love for you to share what's going on in your lives. If you would like a reading, bring it on. I would love to talk about it. I know somebody has called a couple of times. Oh, good. Here we go. That's so cool. Hi there. You are live on the air with Lori. Who am I speaking to?
This is Sam. I spoke to you before in the past.
How are you?
And you've always, I'm good, thanks. You always give me really sound advice. I love your show.
Oh, that's fantastic. That's fantastic. So have you been feeling this crazy energy of the last several days?
No, but I've been just doing like a lot of meditation and kind of focusing like on a lot of my own healing. So
yeah.
I haven't, like, I've just been like at the ocean and doing a lot of yoga.
Oh, that's fantastic.
So I haven't been. Oh, thanks. Yeah, I was going to say normally probably I would be more aware of it, but I've just been.
Well, you know what? Here's the thing.
On,
you either, I don't mean to say that you're not feeling it, but either you're feeling it or you're not, kind of thing. And every sort of solar flare and thing that's going on with the planets and stuff is different. So, anything could be the case there. But I have to say that it's just been insane for me. Yesterday I just wanted to cry all day long. I just wanted to cry. Yeah. And I didn't really know why. And then my daughter calls and she's crying. I mean, it's been nutty, right? Which is, that's part of being an empath.
I have felt confusion.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was just, you're right. No, because I have been a little bit confused and usually I can center better. So maybe you're right.
Yeah.
Because I have had a little more difficulty getting into like my true center.
Yeah.
So that, I just thought it was me.
Well, and here's the thing too, though. And from what I remember about you, I'm sure that you eat really cleanly. So your body is probably really, really clean, for lack of a better way to describe it. So, keep that in mind. So that could be why that could be why you're feeling maybe a little bit in a little bit different way than other people. So just saying that. So, but anyway.
Yeah.
What can I do for you tonight?
I have that confusion though. No, that's why I was like, I'm going to call her because I was really focused before, and lately I've had some confusion. So that could be like how you said you were crying. Well, I've been kind of crying a lot lately, but it's just to let go of like negative energy. So it's good. It's not like,
you know what? It's so funny because my daughter said that the other day, like she just needed to go by herself and cry. And I thought, you know what? That is so cathartic. It is so good. And it gets you out of yourself. It gets all of that stuff out, when you have a good cry. So I applaud you for that.
I don't think people cry enough. Like I didn't, now that I cry more, I'm like, oh, it's so good to let go of like negative emotions. So.
Yeah, absolutely.
But the reason of my call is because you've always guided me so clearly. I think I mentioned to you that like I'm fighting. Well, I beat cancer, and so I'm in remission. And my mother didn't. She used chemo and radiation. She just died from it. So there's been like a lot of transition.
Yeah.
And while I was taking care of her, and trying to help her from not going, I kind of got lost a little bit on my track on like all my focus.
Yeah.
And so now that, I'm glad that she's not suffering anymore. So it's like, I'm glad that she's in, heaven or, in her own, in whatever, she's not suffering. But since then, I've been trying to get back into myself. I'm going to go on a vacation to Bali.
Oh, good.
But when I come back, I'm going to go on a spiritual vacation. I'm going to go on a healing journey. So I'm excited about that.
That's fantastic.
But I feel like I'm healed already, but just to kind of, just have some peace of mind. But when I come back, I'm having some issues because I was writing a book in regards to helping people heal themselves with cancer naturally and being able to do that and not having to take the medicine, that Western medicine, because I feel like it's really hurting people. But I'm having some trepidation, like confusion about writing the book, or I should just go back into architecture. I'm trying to look for some clarity about if I should keep focusing.
I have a whole bunch of stuff to say to you. Yeah. I have a whole bunch of stuff to say to you. Okay, first of all, your mother, it's really interesting. Did she have, well, she may not have had much hair when she died because you said she had chemo and stuff, but did she have short hair? Was her hair?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, right. Okay. So she is with you for sure, right? All the time. Okay. And she wants to say to you, and I don't know, and I'm for some reason, I'm kind of getting the feeling that she actually said this to you when she was here, that, we all have our time. We all have our own unique time that we will transition. So she wants you to know that this was just her time, and she doesn't want you to let it stop you or slow you down. She is like your biggest cheerleader, right? I mean, I feel like she's a huge cheerleader for you, because she's like, don't let anything stop you. Like, she's being really motivational is what I'm feeling, don't let anything stop you. Don't let any sort of strange feelings that you might be having that are temporary stop you from your end goal. Okay. She's actually saying that, sometimes it's okay. And this is actually true, now that I'm thinking about it. Sometimes it's okay to step back from things for a little bit. Do you know what I mean? So you step back, and then you sort of get a little bit of clarity, or just, veg out for a little bit, and then you get back into it, and it's fantastic. Do you know what I mean? Like you're all ramped up again. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So she's saying,
yeah,
she's saying not to stress about the confusion, that stepping back from the book or stepping back is actually okay to do for now.
Okay.
So it's not, I feel like that this trip is going to give you a lot of clarity as well. I feel like you're going to have a lot of clarity during this trip. I'm also feeling like as you get more into this is actually, I feel like, from kind of your spirit guides, not necessarily your mother, but I feel like that as you get more into a routine of meditation, that it's going to be, and I don't know that it's going to happen really, really quickly kind of thing, but I feel like that as you get more into meditation, you get into routine with it, and you get into routine with all of the connecting stuff, like whether it's yoga or meditation.
What happened is, when I was going to drive to my mom's, which was perfectly fine, it would stop my healing and my meditation, because I would have to focus, on other things, which is, I don't have a problem with that, but I've had trouble getting back into that, that clarity.
And here's the thing,
and I guess,
give yourself a little bit of time. Like, it's kind of like the example I'm going to use, and this is might be kind of a little bit silly, but it's okay. Like yesterday, I didn't have a very good day. I was weepy. I didn't cry, but I was weepy kind of all day. And the reality is that it's okay to step back a little bit once in a while. Like, you can't always be, like, for me, I can't always be in the love, joy, peace, vibration all the time. It's just not realistic, right? So go easy on yourself. It's interesting, because I'm hearing from your guides and I'm hearing from your mom, and I just feel like this whole influx of go easy on yourself, because you know what? You're here to live this life. You're a spiritual being having a human experience. So you're here to enjoy your life. So don't let that confusion or frustration, I'm sensing a little bit of, not a huge amount of frustration with you, but I'm sensing a little bit of frustration. And I feel like that, if you just let that go and just enjoy your life, if you go 3 days and don't meditate or do yoga or whatever, it's not the end of the world. You need to eventually get back into it, obviously, but it's not the end of the world. Does that make sense?
Yeah. No, yeah. I guess I'm just frustrated because I have been out of work for a year. And when I come back, when I write the book, it's going to take time away from me working. So I'm just wondering, I guess when I start meditating more and after the trip, but I'm just like wondering, should I write this book? I'm really writing it to help other people. And then after how my mom passed from the, chemo and the radiation, like I feel that she kept telling me that it was her time, but I felt like
so she did actually was saying that to you. That's so funny because that's what I kept hearing.
No, you're right. Yeah. She was saying like, this is my time, but I think that they progressed it, because she died so quickly. Mm-hmm. So I'm just wondering, I don't know, I guess I'm wondering about the book. Like, should I take the time out of my life to write it, to publish it? Because I've already taken like a year off for healing.
I feel like that it'll be good for you to, I feel like it'll be good for you to write it. Now, whether you finish writing it and then publish it, that might be a different story. You'll see where you're at. Like, don't stress so far in advance. Let's step back for just a minute and take one step at a time. You're going on a trip and you want to finish the book. Okay, so those are two big steps actually, but take those two steps. Just take it one step at a time. There's no like law that says that as soon as you're done writing the book, you have to publish it right away, and then you have to do this and do that and do this. There's no law that says you have to do anything, right? So just take it one step at a time and allow yourself to just be, is what I keep hearing from your mom and your spirit guides. So does that make sense?
All right. I'm just worried about like as far as work, so I could write the book. So I guess you're saying that everything will fall into place. The thing is, I can't work full time.
I feel like that if you step back and you just sort of allow things to happen, things will start to happen, and you'll just kind of know, because the more you are meditating, and this is good for everybody, the more you meditate and the more you get yourself centered and get into your gut instinct, then you'll kind of just know, you know what, I think I'm supposed to like go back to work for a little while and try to do this at the same time or whatever. You'll just know. You know what I mean? So,
okay,
I hope that helps.
Just trust I guess I'll just trust the process.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's great. So I want you to have a great trip in Bali. Oh my God, that's incredible.
Yeah, I'm really excited. Thank you so much. I'm very happy.
Good. When are you leaving? When do you leave?
I think probably next week, and I'm going to go for a month. So I'm pretty excited.
Fantastic. Oh, well, please call and check back in so that the viewers can get caught up and see how cool Bali is. And we can all live through you.
All right. Well, thank you so much for your time.
Sure. Absolutely. Have a fantastic night. Take care.
All right.
Thanks for the call.
Thank you.
Okay. Bye-bye. Bye. So, wow, that's really fascinating. Really, really fascinating. And what a great lesson for us all, right? It's a huge lesson for us all. So, okay. So, Francesca and Sherry, you know what? I don't have my glasses on. This is getting terrible. And my husband and I we can't see it all. So Sherry and Francesca, hi guys. Thanks for joining. Okay, so Catherine says, anything for me? Well, let's see. Catherine, I just feel like that you are just like one of the sweetest people in the whole world. I just feel like that you're an up person is what I'm feeling like. I feel like that you are an up person, and you are just, I feel like that right now you're hitting the same sort of situation that we are, like that, like the rest of the earth is like things are just kind of weird and you're not sure and that sort of thing. And I feel like that trusting the process for you as well. It's so funny because Spirit does themes. I don't know why, but it's just interesting. But I feel like that if you can just trust where you are at, and that life is a big fat roller coaster. You're going to have ups, you're going to have downs. I feel like that you're like me, like you try to stay towards the up part. And sometimes when you come down, it's like a, kind of thing. But I feel like that, don't worry, things will go back up. Okay. So, all right. So now we've got Sherry. Hi. Oh, your mom passed and I feel it wasn't her time to go, that there was more than what people think happened. Oh, wow. Interesting. Okay, so let me see what I'm getting about your mom. I'm feeling, I'm kind of feeling like it was, I don't want to say like a really fast passing, but I feel like that something happened and then she kept going. Yeah. So that's what I am feeling like for regarding your mom. I'm feeling like I don't want to say I really have a strong belief, and this is my personal belief, of course, but I have a strong belief that spirit and our soul, God, universe, whatever you want to call it, and our soul figure out when it's our time. And whether it's instant, whether it's a long illness, or whether it's somewhere in between, I think that is that spirit, that God and our souls kind of work that out. So whenever somebody passes, I really, even if it's murder, even if it's something really bad, I feel like that's our time. And that's really never the positive. I mean, I shouldn't say the happy answer, the answer that people want to hear. The popular answer is what I want to say to that. But I really like to be truthful about that. I feel like that it's worked out, So I just want you to know that. And I feel like that she wants you to know that. As far as like what happened and what people think happened, she's really not giving me anything as far as this is what happened and blah, blah, blah. Like I'm not seeing anything clearly on that. And sometimes that's the way that they choose the spirit, the spirit on the other side, or loved one on the other side chooses for it to be. And for whatever reason, we don't know. Okay. They give me what they give me for whatever reason. And I believe it's in your greatest good. So I will say that. Okay. So regarding your mom and regarding her passing, I feel like that it wasn't the easiest thing for anybody involved to deal with, but I feel like that it's like she just wants everybody, because I feel like that there's a relatively large family, and I want to say that she just wants everybody to be happy. I feel like that she was really sweet and just wanted everybody to be happy, and it really made her sad when she was here on Earth and people were just not happy around her, and so that made her sad. But she just wants everybody to be happy, and she just wishes you the best. She is sending her love to you. That's what I'm seeing. I'm seeing her sending her love to you. So I'll give you that. Okay. So, and Catherine said, very true. I'm sorry you have to go through that. Okay. So Christina says, are butterflies totem animals? I keep seeing them. Well, Eric is going to call in very, very soon. And, oh, look, and he says, yes, they absolutely are. Oh, I can't wait to hear about this. So, okay, so what I'm going to do is, so Eric, I'm going to do one more reading with Kelly, Kelly Parks. I'm going to answer her question, and then why don't you give a call in? You can call in anytime, and I'll just pick up the phone, and I'll just leave you there. So until we're ready to talk, I'll just leave you there. That just sounds lovely, doesn't it? Okay, so Kelly says, I'm having a hard time. Went through a breakup that has been hard on me, and I lost my mother recently. It wasn't the best summer. Oh, I'm so sorry. So sorry to hear that. That's so sad. Okay, so first of all, the breakup feels like it was such a good thing. Like that's really a good thing for you. This breakup was in your best interest. This breakup, I just feel, is a positive thing for you. So yeah, so I feel like it was positive. So I know it doesn't feel like that, and it feels like crap right now, and you feel, I'm really getting a sense that you feel like just completely out of whack. Like you're just not sure which way to go, that sort of thing. But I feel like that this breakup was a really positive thing for you. And I feel like that's other good things are coming down the road for you. I feel like, and this is not something I see, and I don't know that I've ever seen this before, but I feel like that I see you on one of those dating apps. And I think you're going to have success on one of those dating apps. How's that? I have never said that to anybody in any reading. Oh my God, that's crazy. That is cool. So I feel like that things are going to go in the right direction. I feel like things are better than you think they are. Regarding that your mother recently passing, was there, and you can answer in the chat if you want, I feel like that I'm seeing something about like earrings. Do you have a pair of her earrings? She's doing that for validative purposes. She thinks that you look better in these earrings than she did. I don't know if they were her earrings or what the deal was exactly with that, but she's telling you how great you look in these earrings. So, and she's a beautiful lady, and she's getting it together. It's going to be fantastic. She is like really, like the two of you are going to have this great new relationship that's going to be different, of course, but you're going to have this great new relationship. So, yeah, start to meditate if you don't already, and look for the signs of her reaching out to you. Look for the signs of her reaching out to you. I feel like that it's a positive thing. She was a really happy person generally too. And I feel like that she's just with you and she is for you. And yeah, so things didn't look so great there, but I feel like that they're looking up now. So that's actually good. So Eric, Kelly says, no, I'm so sorry, but it really was a good breakup for you. So sorry to say. Okay, so Eric, why don't you give me a call, because I really want, like, I have a lot of questions for you regarding animal totems. I'm like so excited, and I think it can actually answer some other people's questions and stuff. And hi, Jesse. And you'd love a reading if you're having a hard time getting over the loss of your father. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry for that. So Jesse, you're really, obviously, I mean, well, I shouldn't say obviously. There's a lot of people that aren't close to their fathers, but I guess I should say that. But Jesse, I feel like that you were really close to your father, and I feel like that that he was really close to you, let's just say. So he was really close to you, and I think that you... I really feel like that he is sending you signs. I don't know if has to do with like teddy bears. I'm seeing like stuffed animals around you. So I'll just give you that, and I'll come back to you in a few minutes because I've got Eric on the line. Hi, Eric.
Hey, how is everyone tonight?
Yay! How are you? It's good to hear your voice. My friend, okay, so I want to introduce my friend Eric. Okay, this is Eric Diesel, and he is a dear old friend from college. So, yeah, I won't say how many years ago that was, but it was a lot. But Eric and I, it's so funny because you know how like you form a bond when you meet somebody, maybe when you're younger, and then you go your separate ways, and then you come back together, and it's like that bond is still really strong. Well, that's how I feel about Eric. So, Eric, so how are you today? How are you?
So first of all, I feel the same about you, and you know that, and it will always be true. Yeah. It's funny, you were talking about the crazy energy, because it's been crazy for me all summer. But I'm okay today.
Oh, good. Well, that's good.
And I'm really excited to talk. I'd just love to answer whatever anyone wants to know.
Okay, well, I have a ton of questions about animal totems. Okay? So,
okay.
So I'm just going to dive right in. What is the purpose of an animal totem, and why do we want them? Is that too hard of a question?
No, it's not. But just a minute. I didn't hear the last part because I've got to try to find a place I can hear.
Okay, that's fine.
Hear me.
Okay, so why do we have animal totems, and why do we want them? Like, what are they for?
Okay. So why we have them? So like with all spiritual matters, there's like the macro answer and then the individual answer, right?
Okay, sure, right.
We have them because we are all part of the same natural world on this plane.
Okay.
And it's not just animal totems, though I think that's where we'll concentrate today.
Okay.
But it's plants, it's fungi. It can even be bacteria. There are some who even believe it can be beings from other planes of existence.
Right. Oh, cool.
Why? Say that again?
That's cool. That's really cool. I'm curious about the butterflies. Like, somebody mentioned a butterfly up there, and
Right.
Oh, so, Christina mentioned butterflies.
Right, and mentioned that they cluster around her and she sees them all the time. And that is just a perfectly beautiful example of how this typically happens.
Okay.
You asked, why do we want them? It's kind of like, it really works on the principle of like attracting like.
Okay.
And what we find when we go into studies, or just open ourselves up to totemic happenings, is that sometimes it just happens out of the blue and it cannot be ignored.
Right.
But more often, it's that you just start to realize it was happening all along, and it just keeps becoming clearer to you and more complex the more you go about it.
Right. Okay. Now, my sister-in-law has a thing about hummingbirds. She's got hummingbirds that come to her a lot. So what does that sort of mean? What is a hummingbird spirit totem mean?
So typically each totem has a variety of things they represent or mean, and it's guaranteed to be personal to the person they're coming to.
Right.
And they never I am going to answer you, but they can be very aggressive, or they will wait for infinity for you to pick up on them. The reason I'm saying that is hummingbird, all birds, all winged creatures, that energy is very fast, and it's very and it's fleeting, like not unlike the butterflies that someone was mentioning.
Right.
So they all do mean various things. Typically, hummingbird means, if it's an omen, it means that something really beautiful is getting ready to happen.
Oh, yay!
And if it's an animal that is always around you, that you are always attracted to, that you have little figurines in your house, or you can't stop looking at them in nature, whatever, then that probably means it's one of your spirit animals, in which case I think I'm right that hummingbird is meant to bring you a sense of joy.
Okay. Oh, I like that. That's awesome.
Isn't that lovely? Yeah. Hummingbirds are wonderful. They're just wonderful little friends.
So now, so because hummingbirds seem to come to her, or like the butterflies for Christina, butterflies sort of gravitate to her. So that is her spirit animal then. Is that correct?
That is one of them. That is almost guaranteed to be one of them.
Okay.
So it's not unlike other kinds of spirit guides. It's just that it's a very specific way of it manifesting, because it is about being in the natural world and being sort of here and now and in this incarnation. That's why they're coming to us in this form.
Right.
And again, it's also plants, it's fungi.
Okay.
For example, I'm in my front yard standing underneath a California laurel that's probably 300 years old. That is literally giving me energy to keep talking based on the day I had.
Oh my God, that is so cool. Yeah.
Yeah, they really do that.
Yeah.
So,
very interesting.
I'm sorry, I lost the thread of what you were asking.
Oh, no, that's okay.
You asked
what's really
about animals.
You know what's really in my brain, though? What I really want to know is, why do I love cows so much?
I knew you were going to ask that because you've mentioned it before. Because cows are one of your totem animals. Right. That's what I was going to go into. So we all have a few. We all have a few. Some are with us throughout our whole lives. They probably were with us before we came into this plane, and they might very well accompany us into the next.
So they're like spirit guides.
And if you, and I think that's great. And then some appear because there's a message that we need to receive by them being there.
Right. Okay.
So that's, I think, the one thing I would ask everyone to just sort of try to become aware of if they're open and want to learn more.
Right.
Is there will be some that you have always been with you and will always be with you.
Yeah.
And for you, I know because you've shared it, is cattle. And cattle are, so you always just ask yourself, what is there that attracts me about this?
I know.
So what is there that attracts? And I know that the answer is everything. I just love them, right?
Yeah, pretty much. I just love cows. I love cows.
I think that cattle are very maternal.
Oh.
They're very giving, right?
Okay. Yeah.
They give of themselves to us,
yes.
which is another reason that we want to tune into our natural world,
right.
because the natural world is aware that it is giving unto us.
Right.
And it is aware of how we are responding, including what we are not doing or doing wrong.
Right. Okay,
so I don't. So I don't want to bring anyone down, but every puppy you feed, that goes into the collective situation.
Okay.
And they do, and it does come back. There is an intricacy to this that you can really plug into and just dwell in something beautiful because you are giving as well as receiving.
Right. Oh, interesting. So it's really kind of the rule of thumb then would be like if it's an animal that you feel drawn to, then that is probably your spirit totem. That's your spirit animal.
Yes. And if it was always the case in your life, then it's probably one that will walk with you, has always walked with you, and always will walk with you, or fly, or crawl, or swim.
Oh, that is so cool.
And it can also be plants.
Yeah.
My grandmother grew African violets. That had to have meant something about, and it did, because she was a very aesthetic person, and they're these sweet little pretty purple flowers.
Yeah.
It can be when you're gardening. If you're a rose gardener, that probably means something.
Right.
If you're a dog or a cat person, that probably means something.
Right.
It's if you're fascinated by tigers or whales or whatever it is, that is a very good rule of thumb, and that is when you open yourself up to hear what they're trying to give to you.
Right. Now, I will say, okay, so Christina asked the question. She says, I wonder what message I'm supposed to receive from them then.
Right.
So how can you know what message you're supposed to receive from your animal, your spirit animal?
So there's a few ways. There are a few ways. And the first is, if you are an intuitive person, and I believe we all are, just to varying degrees of being in touch with the various dimensions of it, if you are an intuitive person, it will reveal itself to you just because you're tuning in. That is how it works.
Right. Okay.
So that's part one.
Okay.
There are more hard and fast ways to do it. One is to connect with a shaman, especially someone who practices in the Native American tradition, but it would not only have to be that. It could also be Buddhism or Hindu, or, for that matter, not aligned with a religion at all.
Right.
And they can communicate with that and then share with you what it is that they are meant to share with you.
Right.
And then much more mundanely, there are a few good books, and there is a wonderful deck of cards, which is what I use. And I can send you some authors and some titles if you want to post that at another time.
Great.
But there is a great deck called the medicine cards. That's what I use.
Okay.
And I have never had them be wrong, and it does really just sort of seep into you, into your knowing. And there are websites where this is all aggregated. You just have to be careful to get to a good one rather than, you know.
So
I will probably be led.
I have my native spirit cards, and they're like,
Mm-hmm.
oh, there's owls. That's like a big animal. So yeah,
Right.
and there's a lot
So
of animals in here, like wolves and that sort of thing too. So yeah. Oh, interesting.
Right. So owl teaches the delicacies of deception.
Okay.
Wolf is the teacher.
Okay. That makes so much sense because I have a friend that's his spirit animal is a wolf, and that's who he is. He is a teacher. I love that. That's awesome.
Yes.
Cool.
Yes. And I cannot remember what butterfly represents, but when we're done talking, I'll put it in the chat because that's actually one I can't remember.
Okay.
And I also want to say one more thing about that. And I was very pleased that she asked about butterflies, because one of the things totem animals are here to teach you is that the universality of this kind of spirituality, it is non-judgmental. People always want their totem animal to be something wonderful and beautiful, and they don't want it to be like a bug or a worm. But sometimes
right,
it's
exactly.
Be.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's a wonderful thing.
Yeah.
Bees are wonderful creatures. One of my totems is dragonflies, which I just feel honored whenever they come, and they do the same thing to me that Christina mentioned about butterflies. They will literally come up to me and buzz at me.
Oh my
and
gosh.
They're shy. They don't like people, but they like me.
That's
and I like
so
them.
cool. That is so cool. Oh, well, I got to do some research on that and see for myself. Oh, so Selena says, hold on. Selena says, we have dragonflies that follow us around all the time, she says. That's hysterical.
Yep.
That's it, you know?
So dragonflies are actually, I don't know how much time you want to devote, Lori, but I will just say.
That's all right. Another couple of minutes and then we'll wrap it up. Go ahead.
Okay. So I will say for the listeners, there are some. So first of all, totem animals are true from around the planet. And we tend to think of it as a Native American situation, which means that there are some animals that Native Americans would not have encountered, right?
Okay.
We don't mean to discount those.
Right.
But in the Native American way of thinking about this, there are about 12 that are super powerful.
Right.
And one of them is dragonfly.
Okay.
So it's almost like it's amped up if that totem comes to you. And dragonfly is an excellent example. Okay. Dragonflies represent, and this sounds tricky, they represent illusion.
Illusion or delusion? Did you say
illusion, ILLUSION.
Okay.
So and that's because of their wings. Their wings are these gossamer things that reflect light, and they're actually quite beautiful, but they move fast, and they always move forward. Okay. And when a dragonfly appears to you, especially if it's one of your basic lifelong friends, it is telling you, yes, I'm beautiful, but also be very aware of when someone's trying to pull the wool over your eyes. Be very aware of illusion, and it can also mean the illusion of being incarnate in this world without remembering the other planes of existence.
Interesting. So Selena, that's interesting. So I hope you understood what he just said about dragonflies. So that is really fascinating. So I believe that spirits from the other side, our loved ones, can come to us via animals or whatever. So how does that sort of fit in with the animal totem thing? Are they two separate things?
Exactly. Well, they are two separate things, but they are part of the same thing. Right. So remember that this is all part of a much larger dance, right? It's cosmic and it's dimensional.
Right.
And these little spirits, whether they're still as this wonderful bromeliad plant that I'm with right now, whether they're still like that or whether they're living and moving, they incarnated the same as we did. And it may have been through different mechanisms or through different planes or whatever. And that's a really complicated discussion that I'm sure we don't have time for.
Right.
But it means that if, for example, you have a loved one who occasionally does come back to you in the form of a bumblebee,
Okay.
that was their energy. That has been their energy throughout their whole existence, and it continues to be.
Okay.
So it's both.
Right.
So it's both. It's both because, you know, as you always say, to paraphrase you, they are trying to tell you, they're trying to signal you that they're here, but they have to do that within the means that they have.
Right. Exactly. Sure. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's
so
true. That's true.
If they're sending, you know, if it's bees or whatever, you know, I'm just using that as an example.
Uh-huh.
It is absolutely true that they can and will send you the same signal utilizing that mechanism, which probably means that was their totem, and it probably means it's yours.
Oh, that's so cool. Oh, that is so cool. That's something I want to take with me. And I have several people that I want to make sure that they watch today's show, because that's really going to be interesting for them to know. So really cool. This is really cool. So, you know, I wish we could go on and on, but I need to sort of wrap up, and I need to do this, give this lady another reading. But thank you so much for this, because you know what? I never even knew really what an animal totem was. It's just not something that crossed my, you know, where I am. You know what I mean? So that was really interesting.
As you know.
Yeah.
Well, thank you. I appreciate the chance to share about it. And as you know, when the student is ready, the teacher arrives.
Absolutely.
So it means something that today was the day we decided to talk about it. So,
yeah, and you know what? And I feel like that, like Selena and Christina, I feel like that those two needed to hear this. And Selena says, let me read this last thing to you. It says, "My mom loved dragonflies, and she was Native American." Thank you so much for explaining.
That is cool. Absolutely beautiful, and that does even I just got the chill myself.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you're feeling it, Lori, but I am absolutely certain that's your mom. Oh. That is absolutely your mom sending you that.
Yeah, for sure. I hope you get that, Selena. That's your mom. That's awesome.
Yeah, I can
that
totally.
Is fantastic. Oh, wow. So cool.
Oh, gosh.
So, well, thanks so much, Eric. I really appreciate it. I appreciate you calling in and filling us in, taking part out of your day. I know you have a lot going on, so I appreciate
I'm so glad to have done it, and thank you for all that you do. And, you know, if anyone does have any questions, it is totally fine to reach out to me.
Oh, please do. I mean, he's on the chat, so if you click on his name, probably you can connect with him that way. So you can do that, or if you have any questions, if you have any questions, you can also continue on in the chat too. So that'd be great. So, yay! Well, thanks a lot, Eric.
Thank you, Lori.
Take care. Bye.
You too. Bye.
Oh my gosh, that was so cool, you guys. Oh, that was so cool. Oh, so I have to say hello to some people here. Okay, so Lisa, hi. Thanks for joining. And, and Jesse, I'm going to get back to you in just a minute. Oh my gosh, that was so cool. And you know what? I've always had a thing about cows. Always, always, always. And I don't know why. I mean, I grew up sort of in farm sort of country-ish. You know, there was lots of farms around, but I never really knew why I was into it. So now I get it. So they were trying to, you know, and cows are revered in India. Like they just have they can do whatever they choose to do in India. So anyway, okay, cool. So, all right. So I want to go back to Jessie. Jessie said that her father was a very nice man, because he patiently waited while we discussed the animal totems. So thank you for that. Thank you in spirit for that. I appreciate it. So Jesse, your father, he was really just a man of I'm really getting a man of deep integrity. He was one of those people that tried to. And you know what? I feel like that he was born maybe back in the I don't know, maybe the 40s. It was that generation. Maybe it was the 30s or 40s. I'm not 100% sure, but I feel like it was that generation. And I feel like that's how they were raised. They were raised to do the right thing, right? So, Patty, hi Patty, thanks for joining. They were raised to do the right thing, Jesse, and that's who he is. That's kind of who he was. That's been his sort of thread the whole way through his life. So yeah, so Jesse, you can go ahead and let me know what your thoughts are on that. Oh, he was born in the 50s. Well, that's that older generation when being in integrity actually meant something. Not that it doesn't mean it today, because it does mean something today, but without getting into anything else, and that's a bigger discussion, right? I feel like that integrity meant something back then. Something different maybe than it does today. Okay, so I'm going to stop talking on terms of that. So so Jesse says yes. So okay, so let me tell you. Okay, so I was seeing something about like stuffed animals. I see a bear, but then I also see some like other animals, and I feel like that they're sort of in a clump. And I don't know if he's showing me a visual of something about your house, in your house or whatever, or if this was you as a child. You had sort of a group of stuffed animals that was yours, and I see them all kind of clumped together. And he's showing me, he's actually showing that to me. Yes, he had a very old school mentality. Yeah, I can understand that. So yeah, so he's wants you to know that he is with you more than you probably know. More than you probably, he's making a joke and he's saying more than she probably would care for me to be around, right? He just enjoys being around you because your personality, your energy was a lot like his. And I feel like that you are a little bit maybe more outgoing than he was, and he just appreciates that. I feel like that you weren't scared to go do things in your life. Like you had certain things that you were doing that you weren't scared to go take this next step or whatever, but yet it wasn't the same with him. He had to sort of step back and that sort of thing. So she says she had a ton of stuffed animals, but he had a thing with winning stuffed animals with those claw games. Oh, right. Right, that's awesome. That's great. So he just wants to remind you about that. So that's what this is about. Whenever I tell you about the stuffed animals, he's just reminding you about that. He's reminding you about the good times, the fun times, right? So that's what he's reminding you about. And his message to you today, Jesse, is to just enjoy. Don't be, oh, I wasn't afraid of anything. That's great. That's fantastic, right? I love hearing that. He appreciates who you are. Never lose that exciting spirit that you have, right? That I'm not scared to do anything spirit. Now, he's saying, well, within reason. That's what I'm hearing. Well, maybe not exactly everything, but so he's saying that, don't lose that who you are, right? And he just wants to remind you that you're a very special, special, special person. So, yeah, so I'll just leave you with that. So, wow, what a great way to end. So thank you for sharing him with us, Jesse. You're such a you were such a great daughter. So I'll just leave you with that. Okay, so I want to, because we had so much craziness going on, I want to leave you with a message of encouragement. And this is a quote from Anne Frank. Everyone has inside them a piece of good news. The good news is you don't know how great you can be, how much you can love, what you can accomplish, and what your potential is. So I want to leave you guys with that tonight because, Anne Frank was just amazing. And you know what? It's all going to be okay. This crazy energy, let's just ride the wave, right? So let's keep that. So join me next week. We will find something new, fun, and spiritual to talk about. I will be giving readings as usual, and go on to Instagram and follow me on Instagram. I guess is the correct way of saying it. Like my Facebook page, and yeah, I love just hanging out with you guys. So I really appreciate who each and every one of you are to me. So thank you so much. And Selena wants to know what Eric's last name is. His last name is Diesel, and he is on the chat. So you can click on his name on there. So his name is Eric Diesel. Yeah, so anyway, everybody, I wish you all a fantastic week, and I will see you next Tuesday. And until then, everybody stay happy and positive. Take care.
Thank you for watching Spiritually Speaking with Lori Albert.